Hi, I'm Ella. Can I ask you a question? When you're looking for something good to read, do you typically consider nonfiction titles? If so, excellent. If not, what are the reasons? Do you prefer stories over facts? What if I told you you could find both facts and stories? In the 3 books that I brought to share with you today, that's exactly what you'll find. You'll find real stories that happen to real teenagers. The first of which is called Popular, a Memoir, Vintage Wisdom for a Modern Geek by Maya Van Wagenen. Maya is a 14-year-old girl who lives in a southern border town of Texas. She sees herself in the social class at the very bottom of the social food chain, a -1 to be exact, which is above a teacher and barely above a substitute teacher is what she says. Maya discovers a 1950s book among her dad's collection of titles called Betty Cornell's Teenage Popularity Guide. Maya thinks this is a pretty interesting book, and she wonders, if I followed this, would it make a difference today? Could I change my popularity status? So she decides to experiment. She commits to doing exactly what the book says for her entire 8th grade year. Only her family will know, and she's going to record her experiences in a blog. What ensues is part hilarity, part sadness, part intrigue, there just are some pretty intense moments that she has as an 8th grade student. Maya has a very unique voice, and she has a great sense of humor. I'd like to share with you one of her tips that she comes up with. She calls them Maya's popularity tips. She says, bite off your tongue before nerd talking about Lord of the Rings to the boy you like, unless he himself is from Middle Earth. This book also contains photographs of her experiences. For example, she's challenged to wear a panty girdle, and this is a picture of what that looks like. You can tell from her face that she's trying to keep from laughing. If you want to hear more about Maya's story, if you want to know if 1950s wisdom could apply in today's world, if you want to find out if she becomes popular or if what she thinks is popular is actually what it truly is, you should give Popular, a Memoir, a try. As an interesting note, Maya herself is still a senior in high school, so she really does understand what it's like to be a teenager. So this is an interesting story. We also have Persepolis, The Story of a Childhood by Marjan Satrapi. Marjan lives in modern-day Iran, but the book title comes from the ancient Persian city of Persepolis. She is a young girl who's living in a war-torn country. Her family is part of a revolution. She sees them undergo a lot of intense, difficult things that maybe we haven't ever seen in our lives, like having loved ones go missing or be put in jail or even killed in the street. Her city's getting bombed. There's some pretty sad and scary things that she has to face, but she also is facing typical teenage experiences, like the fact that she can't wear what she wants to school, or the fact that she can't have posters of rock bands on her walls because they're contraband. What I think is interesting about her story is it's a very heavy topic, but it's told in an interesting way because Marjan herself is an artist, and she writes it as a graphic novel, which makes it really interesting and a very easy and quick read. Once you get through Persepolis, if you're still interested in learning more about Marjan's experience, you might also give Persepolis 2 a try. Lastly, I wanted to share with you a book, I Will Always Write Back, How One Letter Changed 2 Lives by Caitlin Alafranca and Martin Gonda, also with Liz Welch. This begins with 7th grade Caitlin, who is given the assignment to choose a pen pal. She gets to choose any country that she wants, and all of her friends are choosing European countries. But she's really fascinated by the continent of Africa and decides to choose the nation of Zimbabwe. At first, she didn't even know how to say the country Zimbabwe. So across the Atlantic Ocean, her letter arrives in the hands of Martin. And They exchange ideas about, they share experiences about the types of hobbies they like and the music they listen to and their families and the homes they live in and their countries and cultures. Caitlin really doesn't understand what it's like to be in Martin's shoes, and Martin can't even fathom how Caitlin lives because their worlds are quite different. Caitlin realizes this when she goes to purchase a present for Martin. She decides to go to Ross and purchase a Reebok t-shirt. She thought it was nice and that he would like it, but she had no idea just how much it would mean to him. And I'd like to read a little about his letter in his own words, which are written in a little bit broken English because English is his second language. He writes, "Thank you very much for the best present, the lovely, beautiful, high-quality shirt I have ever received. Whenever I walk, everyone stops me, touches the best quality, asks me where I got the wonderful shirt, and I feel special because of you. Oh, you are the greatest. I have really a loving American friend." He shares that that shirt doubles his wardrobe, that before that he only had one shirt to wear and now he has two. That boggles Caitlin's mind. She just can't fathom what that must be like for Martin. She's never had to worry about having enough food to eat, or clothes to wear, or being kicked out of school because she couldn't pay tuition, or many of the other things that Martin has to face daily. As they continue to correspond and their friendship grows, they get more real with each other, and they really start understanding the difference between their two worlds. There comes a point in the book where they really have to help each other out, but I want you to read it to find out exactly how it changes their lives. And I will always write back how one letter changed two lives. I hope that these titles appeal to you. I hope that their stories are interesting, they're relatable, but maybe that there are experiences that'll help you understand what it's like to be in someone else's shoes. So give these nonfiction titles a try.